Hey, remember this guy from 6 years ago? God, those old reviews are hard to watch. And not just because I was using a crappy camera. But we've come full circle because it's time for the update. Legacy United Deluxe Hotshot. So here's your first size comparison. It's like looking in a mirror. And this guy is basically that toy with a couple new tricks and modern articulation. First off, the head sculpt. Thankfully, the visor isn't translucent anymore. Although the darker face and more sunken in eyes, I don't think I'm a fan of as much as old Angry here. And his eyes are blue. I think it was me that was green at the time, not his eyes. He used to say a lot. Oh boy. Before I had the power of editing. So, nothing is new here. Detail-wise, it's all the same, transferred over. It's slimmed down, so proportions are better. And he can move freely, such as this ball-jointed neck, which has quite a lot of room. Twist. You can do all kinds of ovulation. That doesn't sound right. These shoulders that I've never been a fan of, they can move here without breaking the sculpt. And they can move like that, giving him about as much outward range as the original toy. Maybe even less. Things that are new are he has a bicep swivel. That's nice. Instead of a ball jointed elbow, you've got a hinge. And something I didn't even notice until I just read TF Wiki. Removable kibble! You just kind of twist this off. And it's gone! You can now freely get to his wrist hinge. But legitimately, that is so huge for this design. You even have a backwards elbow for some reason. Like, this is groundbreaking stuff here. He looks so much cleaner. Now I'll have to put them back on for vehicle mode, but we'll get to vehicle mode when we get to it. The backpack, still pretty big, but it's been trimmed down. It's not quite as egregious, I'd say. It actually tabs into the back of his neck, so it stays locked in place. Still has a hinge and a hinge. And it still has the forgettable gimmick of the cyber key. And unlike the Decepticon version with Starscream, I actually do have an original Speed Planet key. And yeah, it's not about the size of the key, it's how you use it. Use it to unlock this kind of lame gimmick that isn't even spring powered anymore. Through the power of editing, I can do this. Bam. Yep. You fold out some fins, which I weirdly called wings 6 years ago. Let's do it again. I guess they're red instead of translucent yellow, so they won't disintegrate. Yay. What else we got? We have a waist swivel. We have a waist swivel. So nice to have a waist swivel. Hips that can actually go past past kicking a rock down the street. You can actually high kick. Stop kicking yourself. You have a deep knee bend. You have an ankle, which is You have a lot of... Okay, that's too much hinging. But forward and backward, it's about that much. So we can toe tap. And still more than the original. Just pointing down. Actually, he can't point down, because that's not how his transformation works this time. His head is also on a hinge, and he's got full splitification. No, I totally didn't forget about them and then have to go back in and record extra. So shut up. So this toy is awesome, but it's awesome, I guess. In the same way The Miz is awesome. As in, not really. He's cool. He's probably... I still stand by that he's the best design of the Unicron trilogy, Hotshots. When you think about it, originally in Japan, with Takara, they weren't all Hotshot. They weren't all the same character on his personal growth. Like, the Armada one was called Hot Rod, because Rodimus Prime, Hot Rod, all that. The Energon / Superlink one was called Hotshot, and this guy was called Excellion. Like, accelerate, but spelled with an EX. He even had a red repaint, which was still named Excellion, I think. When you think about it, every single Kid Hero character has gone through the transformation, sort of like Bumblebee became Goldbug at some point. Cheetor went from that cool, kind of awkward starter to the really cool Transmetal, to the kind of meh Transmetal 2, all the way to the bleh Beast Machines. Hotshot went through his own leveling up or evolving process. That's a really long way to say size comparison. Armada Hotshot, the Legacy Evolution, which Legacy line was in? But the Power Links Hotshot. Override, whose name I couldn't even remember 6 years ago. And should I grab him off the table? I'm gonna try grab him off the table without knocking. No. Cybertron Megatron. There's Cybertron Megatron. There's Cybertron Scourge. There's my small animated collection. And some other stuff on my table. Here's me editing this video you're currently watching. I have Cybertron Leo Breaker in the other room. I don't feel like grabbing him. Last thing before vehicle mode is another accessory. Huh. What went wrong with this gun? So here's a close-up look at it. And here's the original. Where did the black go? Why is the trigger silver? Why did the missile suddenly become the barrel of the gun? I think I liked it more as a really lame missile launcher that didn't have a blast effect at the end of it. All my blast effects are in the other room. Except, no, they're not, because I forget I have ones over here. There you go. I just need to find that missile now. Well, that might be gone for a while. I found it. Yay. But let's put his wings, arm guards back on, and transform him into vehicle mode. So pop the backpack. Keep that panel there. That's where I like to rotate the head. Fold the head in. Fold the shoulders up until they clip in. Fold these arms down. But before you do that, rotate and hinge down the back panel so it also tabs in there. Now fold these down and come to the feet, fold them up and then in, and again on the other side, fold in, there, and we're going to untab the front of the leg, fold it up, very much Combiner Wars Aerial Bot style, which is basically the style for any compacting legs now. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Make sure they're tabbed in, and the arms are tabbed into the legs. Everything's cinched in. And there you have a Cybertron Hotshot in his vehicle mode. And besides the new engineering on the legs, that is basically the original transformation. Except tinier. Here, let's do this. For a size comparison, you can actually rotate the head so it's not looking out the bottom in vehicle mode. I guess I didn't know that 6 years ago. And this leg sliding is definitely showing its age. What the hell? Where are you? Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay, not much smaller, but yeah, it's still a tiny bit smaller. And no Autobot insignia. What the hell? He's got one on the front and one on the robot. I guess this guy's too good to show off his Autobot heritage. I didn't talk about the color scheme in robot mode, so I'll talk about it in vehicle mode. This cobalt blue of the original is a bit brighter, a bit nicer to look at. The headlights are also picked out in paint as opposed to translucent plastic. Just everything's kind of brighter than the original, unless the original is just faded. The only thing that really different is the feet are now hidden in vehicle mode, which is kind of nice. Not really that much of a difference. The wheels don't have paint. And you can see his head in vehicle mode, but it's tucked away so it's not as bad as X-Brawn. Weapon storage, same as the original. Plug it into, not the engine. There are cars that have rear engines, but I don't know if this is one of them, and I still don't think this is based off a real car. I could be wrong though. Let's look it up. Oh. Well, he's based off a Chrysler ME 412. Heavily modified with, but, well, shut me up. It's a cool car. And I'm not giving you any other size comparison. If all you want is a Cybertron Hotshot with almost no new ideas and modern articulation, he's good for that. He's exactly what you think he is. He's exactly what you think he is. But if you want something unique or maybe more interesting, there are other places to look. I'd still give him a recommendation. And he's not even the only Cybertron hotshot in the recent generations. You can go back to Siege for a repaint of Hound for a take on the Cybertron Defense hotshot, which is also a cool design. It was basically his mid-season power-up as an excuse to sell more toys, but still turning it from a sleek sports car to a heavily armored, basically APC is net progression, I guess. And he wasn't the only one to get it. There was a Drop Shot. No, Drop Shot was a universe repaint of Sure Shot, I think. And Red Alert. They all got heavily armored forms, which I don't know if we'll ever see again. It seems the only one of those three that get any love is Hotshot. That means this video is done. So, we've got another Cybertron review coming up soon. Might be a bit more interesting than Hotshot. I think Hotshot's still worth a look. I wish they painted the damn Cyber Key, though. You can kind of barely see the speedometer and the other car things on the sides of it. They're there. It looks like a key that belongs to the Flash. Like if he had to lock up something and make it very obvious that it was Flash related, that looks like the key he would use. Anyway, thanks for watching. Speed on to the next review. Keep it weird. Bye.